World is that Skull Woods and just Skull Woods rather is still shuffled amongst itself. The exception being the boss entryway. But other than that, anything goes.
Yep, Skullwoods is kind of randomized between itself except for the back. Link's house is vanilla. Other than that, everything is open to be pretty much anywhere at this point. And as you can see, the Sanctuary came out and we're in the Lost Woods. A vanilla mushroom, though.
Yep, now this mode always forces you to remember all of those locations that you generally don't think about when you're doing a randomizer run. We're seeing, like, Chloe went into that log in the back of Lost Woods. You know, it's there.
Yep, typically there is a chest game there, but instead it's just one of those useless rooms that you typically will never see, but it happens.
And we see that the well is at the lumberjack tree. So that's 5 items locked behind Aga 1, and we don't know what any of them are.
None. 5 items, and it looks like the drop over by the witch's hut on the other side of the river is our bat cave. Chloe getting kind of hecked by that crow there.
Well, Hitsuyon playing the classic, your classic money grab. Always a good idea in Keysanity in general. It can be a little harder to find money early on because those keys are shuffled around.
Yep, and Chloe finding out another one of those things. Typically, if you're playing a vanilla as far as entrance, you don't care so much about the lamp typically because you can go everywhere. You know the dark rooms. This one, the caves, well, they're randomized. You have no idea what cave you just wandered into.
Or you can always walk into the double house and find Eastern Palace. So you are going to see our runners take a lot of stops very briefly just to, make their notes and remind themselves where everything is. You cannot rely on your typical memory.
I mean, if you can rely on your typical memory for this, more power to you. But yeah, most of the time you probably will see runners maybe pause for a brief second, taking some notes on an entrance they might need later, something of that nature.
Hitsuyon finding a pod key, our first key, yep.
And we did find the Turtle Rock map as well, so when we do find a way to get to the Dark World, I'm sure there's plenty of ways to get to Dark World, we might see a map check at some point, and we'll see if that's a crystal or a pen.
Yep, and Chloe is showing us the one other exception in Entrance Randomizer. The back of the tavern is always the back of the tavern.
And as you can see, Sick Kid's house is actually the front entrance to Desert Palace.
So that's a decent amount of, dungeon access early on. And that's a blue tunic on the lumberjack ledge that is actually
Uncle.
Well, the exit of it is Uncle.
Looks like we had the top of Umber Cave where Hyrule Castle is. Oh, this is also one thing with the entrance randomizer. As of right now, at the very least, I don't know if they're working on it, but hints are not in this at all, so no fun hint. Ooh, Chloe found a way to Death Mountain.
Oh, and another traversal cave. In this case, it's a woman's house, but still, same effect.
You come out at the dam.
Well, at least that's a reversible one. It doesn't, force you to pop out and be stuck. You can go back and forth. So that's easy Death Mountain access.
Yep, definitely easy Dark Death Mountain, and Hitzion also getting that mushroom.
Yeah, early game on an entrance randomizer is a lot more wandering around, just in the sense of trying to figure out where everything could be, as opposed to a normal run where you know where things could be, so you kind of have a plan. Nobody here is coming in with a plan.
The plan is to go to as many entrances as quickly as you can, hope you find stuff. So Shimjo, yeah, it's a Crossworld, Keysanity. If you've seen Keysanity, it's just kind of like that for part of it. All the items, including keys, maps, big keys, compasses, are mixed in with the item pool. But also, all of the entrances, if you kind of watch our runners, they're going in one exit and not popping out where they should be. That's just the way it kind of works. You can enter a entrance in the light world, be in a cave, exit that cave from a different entrance, and be dark world. It's very, very crazy.
Yep, Hitzion finding the Uncle Passage at Sanctuary. Sanctuary is one of those drop spots because of the grave drop to its right. So that could have very easily been Ganon.
Now I'm trying to think of entrances we have, or drops that we haven't actually seen. Obviously, we haven't seen Ganon. I don't believe. Did either runner check Blacksmith or Batman Cave, where it should be technically?
I don't believe anyone has checked Batman. Chloe may be in a good position to do that, but Hitsuyan is also still in Kakariko. We did see Batman himself, as well as the ferry, the lumberjack ledge, and the well.
Yeah, and Hitsuyan finds Eastern Palace.
Yep, going to make the dive into it. Chloe found this and didn't really push it. But there could be some interesting item progression in here. And with this being Keysanity, you might be listening to the music and you think you know what the prize is? You don't know what the prize is. We haven't found the map, we don't know anything yet.
Yep, only one map's been found, Turtle Rock. Oh, we got a glove.
Glove in the bombable house. Normally you drop one bomb there and try to redeem it for several more, plus some arrows. It's a decent source of resources.
Yeah,
But a glove is a good resource too.
Yeah, and Hitsuyan finds our first bottle, which, if I'm not mistaken, we have already seen Sick Kid's Hut too, so that's another item. Yep, I was pretty sure I saw Sick Kid and Chicken Hut, so that could lead to something else.
And a fairly convenient Agina, but not a convenient pull for him. Just a couple of bombs. Chloe's now, no, not going over to visit the blacksmith. So we won't get to see Batman's doorway for a little longer. And Hission here doing a dark room with no sword, no resource, no sonar. It's kind of tricky.
Yeah, a little difficult. Makes it through with 1 heart though.
Oh, takes a death trying to hit that button. Since that was behind a dark room, it's technically not in logic anyway, so we're not going to lose serious progression. But with this glove, Chloe can check what would be the Death Mountain entrance and can get up to Zora, who is still going to be in the old Zora spot. Doesn't have the money to do that, but does have the ability to access it.
Yeah, money's been fairly light. Yes, Twad Few. Everything is randomized. Pretty much everything. The exception is Vince Easter did post it. Main thing is Link's house, the back of the tavern. And then the front of Skullwoods, the entrances are slightly randomized, but all of the drops and front entrances to Skullwoods will lead into the front part of Skullwoods or the middle part of Skullwoods.
Yeah, Skullwoods is a bit unique in terms of location design in general, being multiple drops.
So far, though, none of the entrances we really found have led to any major items with the exception of that glove.
Yeah, mostly we're just getting this information around dungeons and the fact that we can get to Death Mountain, but without a hookshot, that part of Death Mountain isn't very valuable. But we are now finally going to start seeing the South Shore and all that it has to offer.
Well, there's a way to get some money there if you need it.
And yes, as always, thank you to Sindoris, who is handling the tracking for this evening. Normally we have 4 players on our restream when we do community races, but this is a bit more complicated, so there's a bit more going on, and we're probably going to miss things. So hopefully Sindoris will be able to keep us honest.
It's going to be hard enough keeping up with where they're going, where it's going to lead to, all of that, but we're going to do our best. So we did get the turn in on the bottle from Hitsuyan. It was just 20 rupees.
And Chloe finding the middle of Paradox Cave. Under one of those rocks that you never really think about normally because there's normally nothing there.
Yeah, and gloves, being with the gloves in where the ice rod cave typically is, and also we find Blind's hut. But having the gloves, there are a lot of locations where you typically go that you don't think about there being an extra entrance, and having these gloves make it to where you aren't having to skip any entrance. Oh, That's actually a big find in blinds that we found the Moon Pearl.
Yep, so when Crossworld does finally send us to the Dark World, which it inevitably will, we won't have to bunny about. And there's our desert key.
Ooh, there's entrance in a Turtle Rock at the blacksmith's house.
And there's Ganon.
I was kind of hoping Ganon wouldn't be there.
I know, it's so easy.
Well, and it's mostly because there's only one other drop that we haven't seen in the game. It would have been his vanilla spot.
Mm-hmm.
So we got our second key to Pod in Paradox. And Chloe with some suicide strats to take down the last mini Moldorm and get some bombs in replacement.
I don't know, I think facing the Chain Chomps with 4 hearts is a suicide strat all its own. And all that for Kana Burna.
It might be helpful. Drunk Future Self, in this case, no. The goal that they have is 7 crystals. So they just have to find these 7 crystals, and then they're able to fight Ganon at this point. They do not have to kill Ega 2. Unless at this point, I'm not sure off the top of my head what drop is at the Pyramid now, but we at this point, by process of elimination, would technically know what drop is at Pyramid and what's locked behind Ega 2.
Yeah, the only drop remaining, as far as I remember, is the Thieves' Hideout. So that is 1 item location.
Yes, and they can't. I don't believe they can even check what that would actually be.
No, and thinking through this, the hammer is always required to clear enough dungeons. I think it blocks enough. So the hammer would be the only thing we need to get to Ganon, and we would have to have it. I think we're not going to see Agatu.
Yeah, probably not.
But we do see a sword.
Yes, indeed. Ronlor Hitsuyan did not get that because at the time, he does not have a small key for Desert Palace.
Yep, that will come from the Blind's Hideout visit, which is over next to the Ice Rod Cave.
And Chloe about to get that information is like, okay, well, Ganon's here.
Crossworlds means that this is entrance randomizer, but entrances that have their own exits, like a cave you can go end to end, you can go in the light world, end up in the dark world. It happens. I believe we actually saw that with this Turtle Rock. Turtle Rock is technically a transport cave if you want to make the argument. And last time Chloe was here, wound up popping out at the safety ledge, which is in the dark world.
Yep, and thankfully has that sword. So it doesn't have a Cane of Burna like Hitsuyan did. And ooh, takes a death though.
Oof.
Those skulls, they hit like trucks on Green Mail.
Yes, the Keysanity portion means that all keys, big keys, maps, and compasses for every dungeon could be anywhere in the world. Anywhere that makes it logically possible to complete the seed.
So Chloe is diving in Eastern Palace now. We know he's going to find a bottle, and we'll see what the last item may be. A little bit more healthy.
Yeah, plus that sword for sonar makes it doing the dark room just that much easier. Itsuyan has been making good use of the blue cane, going around not carrying a sword at the moment, so that's a perfectly valid weapon. I mean, it's valid enough that in standard mode it can be one of the things that your uncle gives you.
One of the more difficult starts in standard, but Hitsuyan not playing around with the dead rock. But the dead rock really wanted to give him a hug, apparently, or tried to.
Oh, dead rocks are friendly. They just, they just want a hug. They just want friendship. We're not going to give that to them, but they want it. Now Hitsuyan's going to take that two-way. After checking out everything else on the lower side of East Death Mountain, I'm going to head over towards the desert area. Chloe has not come over here yet.
Yep, Chloe has not, so we'll see. We've got 3 entrances that we can see over here if it goes all the way. Ooh, we get the Myers. Get a heart container at the very least. Okay, so only bombs in the back. So Hitsuyan didn't miss out on much.
Oh, in a dark cave over in the desert midway. Is Hitsuyan trying to traverse it?
I think he is. Which, if he makes it through this cave, because I mean, I don't know what cave he's in. I know he's not. He didn't go in the front of the old man cave. Yeah, he left. Because that one, I believe that is the only cave that you can actually tell by sound, because you can't just go up and you have to jump off the ledge. So if you're paying attention, you'll hear that and know that you're in old man's cave.
Yep, it also makes you committed.
It does.
And Chloe finding the bumper cave at the front of the castle.
Yep, and we'll get a check on Desert Ledge, which is just a compass. Crimson Raven, for entrance randomizer, the Swamp Palace does stay drained once you find where the actual dam is. So even if you do a save and quit, it should stay drained.
So I'm actually trying to think what locations we haven't hit up yet. And I guess the access to Death Mountain, the classic access, is one of those.
Yep, would be classic Death Mountain. I don't believe between Hitsuyan and Chloe, I don't believe we've seen the Eastern Palace area.
Oh, yes.
Yet
We haven't gone east at all. Check the Super Metroid house. A key on the Hylia Island. Might be useful, might not be. Could just be another Meyer key.
Or Ice Palace key. I think Hitsuyan's trying to brave another dark room.
Well, whatever dark room it is, it's got bottomless pits in it.
I think I know what dark room he's in. Yeah, that's not a fun one to traverse, period. Especially without a sword, because you don't know where you actually are.
So the sage's house is actually Cave 45 with a key. The Thieves' Town small key. Hitsuyan's giving us a little bit of the archery game, gonna farm up a little bit more money here.
Yeah, I think he's thinking about Zora, because he's checked most of the locations, hasn't really found anything himself. And so that is definitely within logic, and Eastern Palace is the bar.
I'm gonna say that raises at least 2 questions.
What 2 questions are those?
Is it still called the Eastern Palace if it's the bar? And do those patrons not really care that there's monsters everywhere?
I mean, I guess we could call it the East. I mean, maybe they just called the bar the Eastern Palace, and
It's a good name for a bar.
yeah, it would be. I mean, you know, Chloe's killing so many Moldorms. As to your other question, you know, when they're leaving, they're probably too drunk to realize that there's monsters all over the place. So,
Fair enough.
mini Moldorm Cave, though. Compass to Ganon's Tower, 20 rupees, 3 bombs, a small key to Misery Mire, and a bee in a bottle.
So that is a good find in the sense that it's 5 item locations that you now have off your chest, but those locations didn't really get us anything. We already had a bottle.
Yeah, already had a bottle. Trying to think, because we already saw Witch's Hut.
Mm-hmm.
Those keys haven't really given us access so far. There's the small palace key, so for Hitsuyan, probably will be making his way there soon.
Yeah, at this point, I have to imagine it's Zora.
I think it might actually be Zora. So those rupees that Hitsuyan got from the arrows, as well, or arrow game, as well as the cave.
Yeah, and that early Hulahan play.
Yeah, the Hulahan as well. So that might come and pay off.
Now that said, I don't remember if we saw all 3 entrances with Paradox Cave. So it's possible one of those will actually lead us to a location progression.
Yeah, it's possible. Very possible at this point. Because I really don't want them to find like the Hammer or Titan's Mitts right now. I want to make them work for Dark World access.
Well, Hitsuyan's gonna work for this bomb jump. First try every time.
Oh.
And there's our Dark World.
Yep, there is Dark World.
So we're about to see what we mean by Skullwoods being shuffled amongst itself. The drop that Hisyon just took would normally take you to the bumper room. Instead, it went there.
Small key to Turtle Rock.
Is it out of logic, Dark World?
No.
This is perfectly in logic. The only thing Hitsuyon did that was out of logic was bomb jump back to where he came into Paradox Cave in the first place. So had he just gone up instead of, checking all the item locations like would be sensible, would have wound up here anyway.
This is Crossworld Keysanity. There's no such thing as sense. You check your sense at the door when you do this.
There's logic, but not sense.
Yeah, but not surprised to see Hitsuyan bomb that wall's gonna grab this full magic. As his only weapon at the moment is Cane of Burna. But yeah, as far as when it comes to logic in Dark World in this, technically, as soon as you can get to Dark World, it's within logic. Crossworld, or just Crossworld in general, doesn't even have to be Keysanity, can force you to actually walk through the Dark World to go to another entrance to lead you to somewhere else that has an item that you can pick up. Because as the bunny, you can still technically talk to NPCs, you can pick items up and things like that, or you can walk through an entrance and be back in the light world and have items.
Yep, the only thing you can't do is, you can't defend yourself, and you can't open chests. So you can only pick up items that are on the ground. But that is a surprising amount when you start playing this mode.
Ooh, big key to Desert Palace.
Yeah, while we don't know where Lamulus is, we know where the rest of Desert is. So there's one item location there.
And then there's the one chest in all of Keysanity that is not randomized.
To the best of my knowledge, taking damage as Bunny is fine. The developers have made little tweaks to avoid crashes like that and various soft locks, which is why if you fake flipper and take damage, you just die, because otherwise you would soft lock.
Yeah, Dark Dawn, this is definitely one of those modes that would be considered, if you want to try to keep track of logic, would be very advanced.
And there's one of those items that's just out in the open. And we see that bumper ledge is just a map. That's very good news because locations like that in Entrance Randomizer are extremely hard to actually access. The only thing that can be worse is if the light world equivalent of that location is somewhere that you have to go in. Because then you have to find what exits at the bumper ledge and then mirror.
Another dark cave. Hitsan's not even trying this one. And Chloe, or no, never mind. Chloe didn't get that. It was Hitsan that had the big. He must be checking other entrances.
I thought Chloe checked all 3 entrances already.
I thought so too, but maybe he's just using it to traverse a little bit faster. Yep,
Yeah,
going
'cause
to
this was
Death
your
Mountain.
Death Mountain access.
Or maybe using this to get to the dam quickly.
I think Chloe's already baffled.
Oh, Hitzian finds Sahashril, and we found out Green Pendant is Thieves Town.
There's some powder and some ether.
The powder is, I believe we have access to the magic bat. It's one of the drops that we can get to.
Yeah, that was over at the fairy drop. The spot that a lot of runners will use to hula hand. So yeah, we can check the bat right away if we are in the light world.
Yep, see. Now, this is the point where your note-taking kind of comes into effect. Chloe probably going over the notes like, what am I missing?
Yeah, that Paradox Cave one is a little mean. I have a friend that when we would do entrance randomizer would always say, don't think of it as entrance randomizer. Think of it as exit randomizer, because that's where it starts to trick you up.
Ooh, Hyrule Castle.
One thing I always love to note is that even in normal entrance randomizer, if you're not doing Crossworld, the front locations of Hyrule Castle are not locked to being the light world, but the sanctuary always is. And so it is possible to use that to get from Dark World back to Light World. It's tedious, but technically possible.
I'm not sure if Hitzian wanted to actually go through technically the escape, but because of where it came out and not having the fire rod, you couldn't go back in.
Yeah, probably gonna loop back and try the front exit this time. See where that leads. I think Chloe might be certainly queuing up for a fake flipper. Doesn't have near enough money to visit Zora though.
Yeah, it's probably at least gonna check the other items, Waterfall of Wishing, and I don't know from there, because at this point it has to be the Paradox Cave exit to the Dark World. That's where they have to go, unless Zora actually is holding something still. But chances are the Paradox Cave was the play to make.
You know, this waterfall is an interesting one because it is going to be a traversal cave, and this could lead to the Dark World and save Chloe from that whole hunt.
Well, I mean,
Not really.
I mean, you were right. It led to the Dark World. Just, you know, that one entrance that you're not going anywhere now. And actually, at this point, will he be able... I don't think he has water walking, though, does he? Nope.
Nope. So they are going to have to reset. Hitzion finding the book that gets us into the proper front of desert.
Yep, that's one more entrance. Yeah, Babalukan, that's pretty much it. All the entrances are randomized within themselves. It doesn't matter on world at whatsoever.
It's prepping the death warp. It's a Skullwood small key.
So we did find the book. That was important. I think Chloe at this point thinks that it has to be Zora. Has the knowledge of the tree pole and is gonna use it.
Yeah, it's looking like. Could still go and hit the Houlihan room, but this way works too. Hashist, yes, the drop locations are all randomized. We see Chloe going in and out of. Hisyon just found a hammer. Going in and out of what would be the uncle drop location, and this time it's, well, it's not.
I believe it is the lumberjack cave.
Yeah.
Typically. But yeah, the dark room there for Hitzian paying off huge with the hammer.
And we see the front of the castle dropping them off on the west side of Light Death Mountain. This is like flipped vanilla.
Yeah, and this is another one of those caves you find that you might not think about it, but depending on what entrance, if you get either one, either the entrance there where you typically can get the item or the one that you can check the item, it does lead you to another entrance if you want to make the drop.
Yep, I believe we already saw the final exit earlier over in Kakariko.
Yeah, I believe so as well.
So that really means that whatever is the front of Spectacle Rock, as it were, is not going to be super valuable.
We got a big key on Zora Ledge. I'm finding another dark room. This might actually be the back of Old Man Cave, I think. Maybe.
I did hear the bats. And the back of Old Man Cave, I believe, always ends up on Light Death Mountain. It might be any Death Mountain.
Okay.
Well, that's a mirror.
So yeah, that is a mirror. I wonder if Chloe is thinking about that entrance to Ice Palace now. Wait, no, because that would still be out of logic.
No, I think that was in logic.
No, it was the waterfall.
Oh, waterfall. Right.
So yeah, that was indeed Old Man Cave. So hits him with another dark room. So rewarded with 10 arrows, but is also going to get the Old Man exit, and we get the dark version of Sahasrah's hut.
Yeah, unfortunately for Chloe, they really need to go over to the Ice Rod Cave area, which is an annoying area to go.
I think that is where Chloe's planning on going, though. thing is, even though Chloe was kind of lost for an extended period of time, and you think that, you know, Hitsun's got a lot more checks in right now, Chloe with the mirror helps routing in Crossworld Keysanities immensely. Not to mention, it does a lot. There are some times where you have to have the mirror to check certain entrances, and that could be the one you need.
Absolutely. Consider, for example, the race game. You never really think about how to get to there, but in Entrance Randomizer, you need a mirror to check the second door.
Okay. Spike Cave's entrance leads to the chest game, which gives us flippers.
And there's Mothula. Over on the Dark Death Mountain Ferry, I believe it is.
Yep.
For me, it's just that Dark Death Mountain cave that I always forget and screws me over.
Yeah, that's kind of being said in chat. I like to say when it comes to Crossworld, logic remains, but there is no sense in the game at that point. And whatever you think you know about Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past, throw it out the window.
Of course, there are still some things in common that are very helpful to know, like, for example, swords hurt enemies. That's still a thing. We haven't randomized that yet.
I mean, there is a weaponizer. They've done that. Just it's not in part of this.
Yeah, we haven't randomized it yet. Crossbow Keysanity weaponizer when?
Yeah, I think the racers have enough to deal with right now. I don't think they want to worry about that as well.
Yeah, Sword was the right side of Desert Palace, which you would access by going through the Sick Kid doorway.
Yes.
And Hitsuyan hitting the peg house for a sequence break that didn't help at all.
I mean, if you were low on health, it might have helped. Pod and Hera are 5 and 6.
Also, just good to know where that bomb shop is in case you have to make that play later.
And the arrow game is the wrong side of Ice Rod Cave. So Chloe also making that dive into the escape. We'll see if they also decide to check the Dark Cross room without the lamp.
Not a very friendly digging game.
All the big 20s though.
And just a Hera map off of old Stumpy.
The bad map.
It could be worse.
Well, it's one of those that we know already, so we don't want that map.
I mean, it could be, say, Hyrule Castle map, which is literally useless.
Yeah, or Ganon's Tower map. That's true.
And
Speaking of Ganon's Tower,
so Ganon's Tower in Entrance Randomizer is a bit of a thing. So we just saw the Fire Rod. There are 22 item locations in the basement of Ganon's Tower, and they can have some good stuff.
I mean, yeah, like the Fire Rod and the map of Ridley. Or Ridley. People are talking about Super Metroid, I'm thinking Ridley. No, map of Hyrule Castle, that map you love.
But this is Entrance Randomizer. Maybe Ridley is in Hyrule Castle.
Game throws a curveball at him. Drop to kill Ganon and you drop for Ridley fight instead.
And behind the Hype Cave door is just a shop.
Hype cave, not hype.
Hype Cave, not cave.
I mean, he could have just made the inside of the cave look really nice.
Ah, that's true. This hammer is going to make routing through the Dark World for Hitsuyan a bit more convenient. Going to be able to head over to the pod area pretty free.
Here's our town.
Yep, so once Hitsuyan pulls this, the front of Swamp Palace will be accessible no matter what. The water level remains the entire time. That also means the sunken treasure will be accessible as well.
Yep, and he does have that hammer as well, so if he does find Swamp, can at least go back all the way to the left side, even if it hasn't found Hookshot. And also, I didn't think about it, but that Fire Rod, we find the back of Desert Palace. Desert Palace is clearable now.
This is true, yeah. We're also seeing the forgotten eastern shore of the Dark Lake. Yes, this is over here. Yes, there are locations.
And no, this is not Super Metroid Zelda 3 Randomizer. Well,
Speaking of the back of desert.
I swear we don't know where the stuff is. We're not on a script, I promise. And Swamp Palace. Wow. Actually, we're missing the key still. We can't do much here. We need that darn key. And Hype Cave.
Wow, get yourselves over to the east side of the swamp. There's a party.
Sadly, you can change the location of Hype Cave, but that doesn't mean you change the hype. Yeah, I was wondering, like, is Hitsuyan... It's like, I can see Hitsuyan jumping in there and just finishing this off now.
Yeah, not extremely well equipped in terms of doing the actual fight, so this could be a little tricky.
He does have Fire Rod. We'll probably try to pick some magic up. And I don't know if you'll be able to pick up enough magic to fill your magic meter. I can at least get a couple of them down.
Yeah, I think that small one is the only guaranteed one. But I could be wrong.
I think there's a couple, at least one in this room, if I'm not mistaken.
I know there's probably a second on the bottom side.
Oh, Chloe is going to the Dark Cross, so if you can make it through this to the chest, we'll pick up Hammer. So with no misses, we'll be able to take 2 of these down.
Yep, and there go 2.
And he does not have a sword, but can use the hammer. Not liking it, though. Alright, down he goes.
That gets it.
Oh, the Hookshot.
And a crystal. That was a blind play. We did not know if that was a crystal or a pendant.
Yep, blind play, gets the crystal, gets the Hookshot. That's a nice find. Now, if only you had that darn Swamp Palace key, because then you could be like, oh, well, I'm here. Let me just clear this out while I'm at it.
Watch, it'll be within the next 4 items that Hitsuyan gets.
It's like, I heard you need this. It's like, yeah, could have used it 5 minutes ago. I gotta go all the way back down there.
Oh, there's a front of T-Rock.
Yes, it is possible to get the big bomb. There are many ways to move the big bomb. You can even swim with the big bomb if you want.
That is not advisable to do in real life, but, you know.
Yeah, not in real life. Don't try that at home, kids. Catfish, I swear. Okay. It's like, if I saw Swamp Palace there, I was going to be like, I give up. We need to stop talking about items, because Hitsuyan just gets it afterwards.
Chloe just finding a map in the graveyard ledge, which is the race game backdoor.
I know where Hitsuyan's going. 2 small keys, a hammer, and a Hookshot. Hitsuyan is going right back to Ganon's tower.
Oh yeah, there's a lot you can clear out now.
Don't know if Hitsuyan will take it all the way to Ice Armos. Technically, he could. But no bow, that's going to be a rough fight.
No bow, no sword.
That too. I guess at least now, who knows, maybe we'll find a bow. Well, there's a cave.
And silvers.
Okay, I mean, it's half of what you want.
Now, I'm thinking here, but so far, I think all the items we found in Ganon's tower could actually be in Ganon's tower in a non-entrance seed. It would be a weird one for the fire rod to be here, but I think it would be possible.
Yeah, you would just have to have Skullwoods and Turtle Rock would just have to be pendants. That would be the only requirement, I believe, because everything else, and then you would need to have a lamp for a fire source.
Yeah, lamp as your fire source and bombos if Ice Palace is required.
Yep, and Cane of Samaria in Ganon's Tower, so now the right side is available as well.
Yeah, I have a feeling Ision is going to spend a fair amount of time in here.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you pretty much got to clear it out, with the exception, like I said, unless he wants to fight Ice Ramos with his equipment. I don't see that, because it's just, I mean, if you find something back there, it's a huge gamble that paid off, but if not, that's going to be a long fight.
Yeah, but he did find this single artisanal arrow. So you can always stab an Armos with that, I guess.
If only those arrows could be used as daggers. I mean, Hitsuyan's had access to a sword for a while. We've had that small key to Desert Palace for quite a while, just has not went back for it.
Yep, and Chloe has had access to the Dark World for a while. She just didn't take the exit that we needed to do it. But both of our runners have been taking full advantage of sequence breaking for that hammer. I have to imagine if you didn't do the sewer cross in the dark, then doing the Dark World is probably a pretty obnoxious play.
Yeah, and I mean, not just for having the hammer so where you can check out the pod area and all of this, but just getting back to the Dark World. Now you have access to all the portals pretty much as well.
Itsuyan is going to try Ice Armos.
Okay, we're gonna get Burnistrats.
You know, this is a play I don't necessarily agree with, but man, do I respect it.
I guess maybe he's also thinking about the fact that I need to die anyways to get to the front since I have Samaria. I might as well try this.
I guess, but when you finish up... No, he's intending to finish this fight.
He wants these almost dead. I mean, technically, this is within logic. You do not need the bow for an Armos fight. It is not required. Alright, down to 2. We got that one pinned.
Chloe's gonna farm up a little bit of money.
Yep, didn't have the money to open pod, I believe. Now the fun one.
Oh, Hitsuyan getting a nice little pseudo stun lock. That's some impressive cadence.
That was. Let's see if it was worth it.
Skullwood's big key,
Ooh.
and a Turtle Rock small key.
Gonna have to say it probably wasn't worth it.
It was worth it for us, not for Hitzion.
Yep. Probably not happy about that. Now, could you imagine if that was the big key to Ganon's tower, though? We might have gotten to see the chest open up that we never see.
Any vanilla big key in Entrance Randomizer or in Keysanity or both is quite the show.
Ooh.
Meanwhile, Chloe's over in Hera.
Yeah, we found Hera. We don't have access to too much as we have no keys. But there's another key to Dark Palace.
Another one of those locations we always forget about, the Monkey Temple. Another T-Rock small key over in Ganon's tower. And not much else for the right side.
Chloe found Spike Cave. Has Can of Burn and a bottle, so this is in logic. Now for everybody's favorite room in Ganon's tower.
Yep, it's time for a moment of contemplation. As we spend a good minute or so doing this tile room.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully you found that cape in Ganon's tower, so you can just kind of hold the A button, grab a wall, and just...
This is legitimately a good time to think about where you're going to head next, since you're not exactly doing anything. But I think the obvious answer is head over to the pod area.
Yeah, for Hitzion, more than likely it's going to be the pod area.
Oh, Kiki runs away.
Kiki is a pacifist and doesn't like violence.
Never seems to mind it when you do it.
Kiki just closes his eyes at that point because you paid him.
Getting some interesting insights on Kiki's ethics. As we find the Rat Shack.
So that's where Kiki keeps all his money. Alright, so Turtle Rock and Swamp were both crystals.
Chloe's gonna give us a pedestal check.
Oh boy.
Vanilla! So, don't expect to see anyone hit pedestal, but there you go.
Yes, apparently Lost Woods wants to be completely vanilla except for its entrances, because Mushroom was vanilla as well.
Very true.
Ooh, I forgot about this. The entrance to Turtle Rock hits you on finding that Samaria and Fire Rod. Can check the front. And one thing I wanted to kind of note for the users as well as kind of hits the ends doing it well. Writing on Samaria, for the entrance randomizer, at least Crossworld, quick item switching is being used by everybody. You do not have to go into your menus. Another bottle and a bug net.
So you can refill the bottle with various flying things.
Yeah, I mean, it started you out with a B, so it's like, here, just in case you use it, here's some more.
Chloe heading up to left side of Light World Death Mountain. We'll be able to check out Tower of Hera and the upper side of the east side.
Yeah, Chloe actually has access to quite a bit, and potentially that small key could be a big thing as well, because if that's the Swamp Palace small key, when Chloe does make their way to the Dark World east side of where Ice Palace is, we'll be able to clear out both Swamp and Desert Palace at the same time. Key is the Hera key.
Not quite the small key you want to see, but not the worst.
No, could be much worse.
Bombs on the tablet. Ooh, Spiral Cave. That's dangerous.
That hesitation, like, do I actually want to do this right now? Because this is a cave, there is no return. You drop, you're coming out somewhere, and you're stuck. But could be a good thing depending on where it comes up.
Yeah, it seemed like she had easy access to the right side of Death Mountain, or the left side. Both sides.
Well,
Get everywhere on Death Mountain. Here we are. We're on Death Mountain.
yeah, that is actually a nice, drops you off here. There are quite a few entrances you can actually check now.
She did not think to mirror it, though, and see what the Light World item was.
So Bombus is going to be required for the front entrance to Turtle Rock.
There's the big chest entryway for Turtle Rock. And there's Super Bunny. This is another one-way cave, though, so could be a little dangerous.
Yeah, but I saw a mention in chat earlier that it is difficult to tell who is ahead. It is going to stay that way probably for a much, much larger portion of the seed until really you're kind of in go mode almost, and if you don't know where all the dungeon entrances are, you're just looking for dungeon entrances.
Well, that's the end of Super Bunny. It's a king's tomb. Yeah, I would say Hitsuyan certainly feels ahead. Certainly has one crystal, so that's an advantage. But our runners are on two pretty different tool sets right now. Hitsuyan's is larger because they went through Ganon's Tower basement, got a lot of good stuff. But Chloe's is a lot better for that maneuverability. Hitsuyan finds the upgrade fairy. I guess actually we probably knew about that for a little while. As I recall Chloe going around that area.
Yep, Eternal September, that is normal for a Crossworld Keysanity, because you're not just looking for keys, you don't even know where the dungeons are. So not only do you have to find the keys to the dungeons, then you have to find where the dungeon actually is, plus have all the items that you need to clear the dungeon.
Well, there's the Hera big key.
So between the two runners, then we can full clear Hera now. Hitsuyan still needs a small key, and Chloe's going to need to make his way there. Grab that big key from the hobo.
Yeah, the shame is Chloe was doing a fake flipper earlier. They could have very easily gone and visited the hobo in the course of that. Just a little love from the chicken shack. I think Chloe is rescuing the old man right now.
Yeah, it looks like the cave. Yep, that is indeed. So Hitsuyan about to go through the race game huts and come out at Ice Palace where you just left, just on the Dark World. Now Hitsuyan going to pick up Mirror from Zor, as well as we're going to find out what dungeon that big key is.
Now, if it's a crystal dungeon that isn't Skull Woods, well, it can't be. So if it's a crystal dungeon, that could be a problem for Chloe. But if it's Swamp Palace, it's much less likely to be a problem.
Or potentially Ice Palaces. We don't know Ice Palace just yet.
True, and most of our runners are going to be more than capable of the Ice Palace bomb jump that makes that big key basically irrelevant. Hitsuyan seems displeased with the mirror.
That point might feel potentially a little behind some of the racers, just because of what it can do for your routing. Oh, it's a Misery Mire big key, though, which we don't know if that's a crystal yet or not.
But if that is, Chloe's gonna have to get back up there. Yeah, we have not actually seen a single map check.
No, we did see a map check on Chloe's side. We got information on Swamp and Turtle Rock. That's how we know those are crystals. We're missing 2 crystals and 2 pen. I don't know if we've seen the maps for any of the missing dungeons as of right now.
Ah, I must be paying a little too much attention to Hisuian's side. My bad. I do think Chloe is going to take on Mothula. You need a sword to do this.
Chloe does have the sword. We had a soggy 300 rupees. This is also going to give us information on one of the dungeons we don't have the map for.
Oh, we're gonna see what key was over on the island.
Another dark
It's another
palace
pod key.
Chloe
Very
making
nice.
nice work of Mothula with the hammer. 10 arrows and a pendant, though.
Oh. A solid performance nonetheless, but not valuable.
I guess it's kind of valuable because it does give you that information that it was a pendant. So potentially your next map you find could tell you where your crystals are at that point.
This is true. If we have the other pendant dungeon map somewhere, then yeah, we have full information, even knowing what's green and what's red.
Chloe gonna go back up Death Mountain to the light side. We're gonna see the East Death Mountain check at this point, I'm sure.
I just really hope we see what item is on the Lonely Island, because that is, again, one of those mirror locations that can really mess with you. But it's just a map, so forget it. Oh, and there's Thieves Town.
And Trolldorm goes down on Hisuian's side. He's rewarded with 3 bombs. And our first 5/6 crystal.
So, unless I completely missaw, this was our first opportunity to get to Thieves Town because of where our runners got to the east side of Light Death Mountain.
Yep.
This would just be blocked by Titan's Mitts, unless you came in from the top.
Yep, this would be correct.
So it's very important to know all of the angles and all the restrictions on getting to a location.
Ooh. Big Key of Dark Palace, so just needing really a bow to be able to actually kill King Helmasaur now.
Once we know where Pod is.
Yeah, and then finding out where Pod actually is. That's the important part too.
But Pod is is one of only 3 dungeons that we haven't found yet. It's that, Ice, and Mire.
Yeah. Which in kind of like the major locations that we can't check that just is a densely populated area of entrances would actually be the desert and mire area. We don't have a way to mire or outside of desert, or like the inner parts of desert. We can check the desert entrance, which nobody has.
Yeah, we have not gotten a look at that. But that is, if I'm remembering correctly, 6 entryways that our runners could hit. The right side exit of Desert Palace is always a connector cave. So that one is not as valuable.
Yeah, and actually, the other thing, I'm wondering if I guess Hitzion picked up his small key to Thieves Town. I'm wondering if either runner, now that they have, I'm wondering if maybe Hitzion will think about it because he left that portal there. With the mirror, you can actually check the top part of Hyrule Castle.
Yeah, we have not seen that. And again, that's on that long list of locations that are suddenly mirror locked in Entrance Randomizer. Or at least theoretically mirror locked.
Yeah, potentially. You could find a cave that lets you get up to one of the entrances, but yeah, there is a likelihood that you do need the mirror to reach these 3 entrances that Hitzion's about to go check. And we'll be able to check all 3 because of that cave.
Yep, you still need to be able to get past Aga's bat, no matter what.
Oh, the
Ooh.
small key to Swamp Palace. Wow.
You know what? That is a treasure.
And speaking of Swamp Palace, Chloe found the big key.
So with all this equipment, Hitzion might be tempted to go hit that up. Maybe after
and we have
dipping in
Pod.
pot.
But yeah, I almost kind of expect Hitzion to go to Swamp Palace after this. There's just too many items there. We got some boots. The big key to Eastern Palace as well.
Yeah, that works. Of course, our runners don't have the bow, and we don't even know if it's crystal, but definitely some value in pod today. Although that's pretty often the case.
It is, and it makes you think that Zora was locking the boots. And Chloe's actually going back to these areas that we weren't able to check earlier, as I don't believe we've actually seen a Mimic Cave check. Just 20 rupees.
I will say I'm definitely losing track a little bit in terms of what's actually logical right now. Because our runners have been doing dark rooms, so they should have the lamp technically.
Well, maybe. It could still be locked behind something.
Yeah, I'm wondering how much did they manage to just short circuit by grabbing that hammer early.
So we're going to get some hammer yump from Hitzion.
Yep, very valuable move in any Keysanity mode. but a very tricky move in every mode. And it is a little tedious to reset. You have to go down into that dark hallway for the bridge to respawn and give you another try. This one's gonna be close. I don't think the timing is gonna work. Oh, does get it.
Barely. Alright, Chloe picking up big key to Tower of Hera, piece of heart, and the first chest in the Dark Maze of Pop. And Chloe's going to immediately go in a Tower of Hera. And we are going to see a basement check from Chloe as well. We did not see this on Hitsion's side. He did not have the small key. Or maybe Chloe changed his mind. Yes. Yes, he did.
Unfortunately, with this being entrance randomizer, we don't really get the usual 1 hour lull where I would normally do this, but regardless, if you are enjoying seeing what our runners are doing and you want to see more randomizer of various sorts, I believe our runners featured here play a number of them. Always good to give them a follow.
So Hitsion leaving pod. I think other than the boots, there wasn't really anything else of value there. But boots is definitely a big one. It does open up a few entrances, not to mention the speed it gives you.
Honestly, I'm just wondering how long Hitsion is gonna go without a sword.
Well, who knows? Maybe we'll find one in Swamp Palace. Ooh, Chloe getting trolled by the Master of Trolls. And Hitsion taking a death, actually.
Dashed right into that rock. Sometimes that super speed is too much speed.
Yep, kids at home, there is such a thing as too fast.
But now I'm wondering if there's a Sonic the Hedgehog randomizer.
Troller, I'm almost taking Chloe down a second time.
Oh!
Trolldorm is not having it with Chloe today. Maybe Trolldorm knows that, you know, Ega 2 isn't required, so it's like, I know you're not going to get trolled by my brother, so I'm just going to do it for him.
Someone has to uphold the family tradition, including the family tradition of getting smacked by the hammer to death.
Yes, but Chloe said enough is enough. Down goes Trolldorm, gets Crystal. I believe that, actually, yeah, that is their first Crystal.
Yeah? They do have the Skullwoods pendant, though.
Yes. Not first dungeon clear, just first crystal clear.
There's the lamp. Okay.
So yeah, Logic wanted you to buy the mirror off Zora. So you could get to, unless, yeah, there was no entrance there. So yeah, buy the mirror off Zora to mirror to the top part of Hyrule Castle with a cape to get the...
Yep, which means it wanted you to go to Ganon's tower first. Man, that lamp location will be rude in any mode.
It really... Any item there can be rude. Actually, yeah, I'm trying to think. What would... Where were Where were the flippers? I think flippers were logical access.
Yeah, I think so.
I just don't remember where flippers were.
They were the chest game. I don't remember where the chest game was. I didn't make a note of that one.
Yeah, I'm marking dungeons and like some connectors. Like they found an item here where we don't need this location anymore. Does somebody in chat remember where flippers were? Death Mountain.
Yeah.
As far as I know.
But I don't remember which part. Because there were definitely parts of Death Mountain that were dark locked.
Okay, yeah, they were chess game. Okay, yeah, I remember. It was chess game. But yeah.
Either way, very rude, Seed.
Well, I mean, flippers would have had to have been accessed. Because other than that, it would have been locked by... Unless they had to run AGA 1, but we don't have any AGA tower keys. Or even know where AGA 1 is yet. Just game in Spike Cave location. So yes, then they've had access to it for... Actually, yeah, they've had access to that for a while.
Yeah. Logically, they needed Burna and the bottles, but those were easily accessible. So yeah, between this being entrance randomizer and this being Keysanity, knowing, well, there's your big key to Ganon's tower, left side of swamp. But knowing your sequence breaks is quite valuable. Now, unfortunately, I did lose count, so whatever number you guessed in chat for where the Ganon's tower big key was, I'm sorry, we don't know.
I think we forgot to start that game at the beginning of the seed 1 through 200 plus items. Yeah, I believe it is 212, so...
Yeah. And of course we joke about the Ganon's Tower Big Key, but since this is all crystals rather than just defeat Ganon, we don't actually technically need that.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Well, there's an AGA tower. There's our bow. Chloe finds Ganon's tower, or already knew where Ganon's tower was, but is going to make that trip and get the wealth of item.
Yeah, we'll see if she dips as far as Hitsuyan did. We'll at least have a sword, so be a little better prepared for the Ice Armos.
Yes, because I'm trying to think there is potentially... There are items that could technically be at the top of Ganon's tower that we need. Turtle Rock is a crystal, so we have that wonderful ice rod that is required.
Yep. Also, I just realized the cape was behind Hookshot.
It was.
So that's even more annoying logic.
Which was technically behind Fire Rod, so you had to go into Ganon's tower to get a Fire Rod. Then go to Desert Palace. Finish Desert Palace, get the Hookshot, come back for the cape. Jeez.
Yeah.
That's not even including all the entrances you have to do to get all of that stuff. Yes, how many people in chat would typically see this? We are an hour and 41 minutes into a seed that is not swordless. Well, speaking of that, Hitsuyan just picks up his first sword at an hour and 41 minutes.
Yep, 100 minutes to get a sword. When there was one available for like 60 of them, probably.
Yeah, we found that small key to Desert Palace fairly early on. And there's a possibility that that might actually be the only other sword we find, because we do know one sword is on pedestal.
Yeah, that's very true. We may end up with a Master Sword Seed, and that's it. At least it's not going to be Master Sword Silverless. So to help explain what we're seeing, because Crossworld Keysanity, you don't play that every day. Crossworld is an entrance randomizer where the connecting caves, where there's an entrance and an exit, the entrance can be in Light World, the exit can be in Dark World. Entrance randomizer actually means the entrances are shuffled all about. And then Keysanity means that all the small keys, big keys, maps, and compasses for all the dungeons are shuffled about in the world. So it's a bit chaotic.
Just a small bit.
Just a little.
I'm picking up the big key to Swamp Palace now. That is something Chloe is going to be able to check that Hitsuyan wasn't able to, so there's a possibility if there's a major item in there. It might be a while. That might be one of the last places Hitsuyan checks, because not only is it Swamp Palace, it is in the Dark World Ice Rod Cave location, so it is not easy to get. Yeah, just a little bit chaotic. Not major. We're seeing some burner strats on Chloe's side as well.
Pretty clever approach. I approve of it.
Rucker Flute might not be necessary. I mean, we don't have access anyway right now to Misery Mire as of the moment. So Flute could be our access to that location. But we don't know yet.
Yeah, and yeah, it might not be the access. We might find a transit cave that takes us right in there.
Yeah, it's possible.
Chloe getting that cadence down and take out the Ice Armos pretty smoothly.
as far as dungeons, we are still looking for Ice Palace and Misery Mire.
Yep, and we do know at least one of them is required. Depending what we see out of Eastern, they might both be required.
Yeah, it's possible. We will see shortly. Chloe using that knowledge of the stun prize being a full magic. And don't forget, there is also the one very poor location for 5 items.
Ooh, yes. So we have 1 sword locked behind 3 pendants, and 5 items locked behind Aga. And we have no clue where Aga is.
Yeah, we still have not found Aga. We would still need a small key as well. But there are plenty of places in this seed still where we could be hiding an item. Well, not we. We didn't hide them. Game did it for us. But
We have no responsibility. We absolve ourselves of this seed in its entirety. Yeah, Hitzion, having found those relatively early silvers, any boss that goes down to arrows is going to go down pretty fast now.
just a map of Eastern.
Oh!
Game. That's
So,
just trash.
So Ice and Mire are our last 2 crystals.
I think that is one of the worst things I've seen on a boss. It's just like, hey, here you go, here's the map. And the only reason you wanted this is to find out what I drop. So you could have known what was about to come in the air.
The bow was in the back part of Swamp, which is over at what's apparently called the shopping mall, the east side of the Dark Swamp.
Yeah, Chloe getting bullied by those Gibdos though, has to just without a bombs as well, so had to do this. Mirrors so they can fill up, basically go through this again and fill up their magic. Oh, I wonder how Hitsion's gonna feel now. No swords in over 100 minutes, and then less than 10, you're at Master Sword.
Though he doesn't know that that's probably... Well, not probably, but has a good chance of being the last sword. We'll see.
Yeah, it's a good chance. Ooh, there's the second Aga Tower key. So Aga, when we find it, is within logic now.
Yep. Although, for what we know currently, the only progression essential item that could be in that well is the ice rod. We don't know if we need any medallions.
Yeah. Technically, that's the only item that we could potentially require at this point, other than keys, which we are looking. I think actually the only key we are looking for that we need to complete the game now is Turtle Rock's big key.
That is true. I think Hitsuyan is going to need one more after that pod dip, but you technically can complete pod with one small key.
Yep.
Or two
he
small
will
keys.
also. Yeah, he will need one more small key. That is correct. So Desert Palace was Sea House, which was just 50 rupees.
Yes, we could end up needing Bombos or Quake, because we don't know what the Mire entrance is. But in terms of the information we have right now, we don't know that. We only know that we will need Ice Rod. Because we do know that Turtle Rock is a crystal. And this is an Enemizer, so we are going to face Trinex.
And Chloe is making that play up to Hyrule Castle.
Itsuyan takes down the Moth. Not gonna get much for it, other than some peace of mind. And actually some good progression towards getting the vanilla sword.
I was gonna say we're actually just a Thieves Town big key away from having access to the tab or the pedestal now.
And Chloe's gonna make that first dip into pod.
There's a small key for Hitsuyan, which I believe Chloe still left that alone.
No, if that was the Hera small key, so
Yeah, I think
she's got it covered.
I know Chloe got the small key, but did Chloe actually go to the basement? Because it started to and then said no and just went up to Trolldorm.
That is a good question.
I think Chloe just skipped out on it, even with the key.
Yeah, because that is a sluggish item check for sure.
Yeah, it is a sluggish item check, but it's just like I feel, especially in Keysanity, you can't really afford, if you have the key, you can't really afford to skip any locations.
Yeah, that is true. And hey, both of our runners did Ganon's Tower tile room.
They did. Chloe getting the big key to Eastern Palace, and I think that's the only other thing of value that was in here. So if Chloe wanted to leave and not waste a key, this would be the best time, but I doubt you're going to leave that many chests in the back. I'm pretty sure both runners have done Catfish at this point already.
Yeah, I don't recall it being anything of particular value.
Hitsuyan gets stopped by King's Tomb. However, there is one chest Chloe can check.
Yes.
Because he has the big key. He could technically say no and maybe skip Harmless Hellway, or if able to, do the Hammer Yump and save that key.
Hisayon is checking out some of those dark connectors
Nope, Chloe
that
did use the
our
key.
runners noticed and dipped out of when they didn't have the lamp.
Okay, so Chloe... Okay, looks like she's going to go for the Hammer Yump. We're going to do it for bottom.
Just a fortune teller there for Hisayon, but can still check the Mimic Cave. And that's the other side of Spec Rock.
Did we find where... Yeah, we did find where you would drop and exit out.
Yeah, that was over in Kakariko. And there's Hookshot Cave at Spiral Cave. And there's Mabos. And there's our last sword.
And a boomerang, and oh, takes a fall.
And he does remember that Hookshot Cave has an exit. It is a connector. And it doesn't go anywhere.
Well, I believe he might pull his book out and go check, because he hasn't checked this entrance yet.
Oh, yeah. Chloe about to pick up the swamp small key. I'll give her a chance to clear out that dungeon and get the bow.
Yeah, but really at this point, these dark connectors, if one of them... I think there's a couple more locations. Boots locked. I don't believe Hitsuyan has checked these bonk rocks or the Dark World bonk rocks in the same location. Oh, there's our red mail.
Mm-hmm. Again, those are just on that long list of locations that nobody really remembers when you're playing Randomizer until you start doing entrance.
Yeah, and Bombos does give us access to Turtle Rock's entrance. Yep, and Chloe's making beeline right to Swamp Palace.
And a shovel in the Ice Rod Cave, which is the Bomb Shop Bomb Crocs. It's a fairly convenient location for it, at least. And folks asking in chat if anyone in this race has finished. Generally, we won't announce placements until one of our on-stream runners has finished. But I do see 3 different forfeits so far. Because Crossworld Keysanity is a mean beast. And also, it's fairly late in the East Coast, so like I can't entirely blame people.
Yes, I think one of the bottles had a potion. I want to say a blue potion, maybe. Because I remember, I want to say it was Chloe used that potion to make it through Spike Cave.
Yeah, and I don't believe we've seen the potion shop.
No, both runners, I believe, have already turned the mushroom in, so that's one of those entrances that items just kind of sitting there waiting for when we find it.
Yeah, although we have seen a decent number of regular shops which have red potions, so if our runners really need the pick-me-up, they know where to find them. Chloe scared me for a moment. Gotta go to the left side. There's goodies over there this time.
Yep, Keysanity and the thinking it's like, I can do this. No, you don't have a Master Sword. Almost flooded the key.
Oh,
It's like, Chloe, no, don't do it. You need that key.
now even though the other flooding in Swamp Palace that does stay up throughout the entire run once you do it, the left side does drain if you leave the dungeon and come back, because otherwise you would just soft lock and it would be terrible.
It would be a sad day for everybody. So again, for everybody kind of just joining us, I mean, KO Edition, it's possible, but for everybody joining us, kind of what we're looking for right now, the main thing we're looking for item-wise, we're looking for the Ice Rod, and then also the Turtle Rock big key, and then both of our featured runners also need one more small key to pod to be able to clear that out. And a Misery. Actually, we know where Misery Mire big key is. So other than that, we are looking for the entrances to Ice Palace and Misery Mire as well.
Yep, our runners have not found the Ice Palace big key, but the Ice Palace bomb jump kind of makes that irrelevant. And it is entirely possible that we will still need Quake or Flute. We don't know yet.
Just a heart container in the chest that Hitsuyan had to leave behind.
Oh, there's Aga Tower.
There's Aga Tower. Hitsuyan, he is going to run it.
If nothing else, there's 2 item locations here.
Yeah, I guess he might at least check those. We'll see if he decides to go for broke. They'd be thinking about those 5 items that are also awaiting you at the end. Chloe picks up bow and that first Aga Tower key. Alright, got both items. He's going the whole way.
Yeah, like you were saying, that makes complete sense with that well being under the tree.
It's Joe Lambo. The lamp was behind the bombable wall in Swamp.
Yeah, getting to that lamp was a nasty series of events.
It really was.
Fortunately, our runners are pretty good at dark rooms, and we're able to avoid all of those shenanigans.
And Chloe's actually going to do some spin strats with the fighter sword.
So how many blue balls do we think we're going to see off Aga?
With the way this seed has treated them, I'm saying 7.
You know what? I'm going to say 6. Yeah, it can be upwards of, I believe, 15, even with optimal play.
Down goes Argus on Chloe's side. Picks up the Master Sword. So far, though, Aga 1's being nice.
Yep, there's our first one.
And I spoke too soon.
Of course, the moment you say something. Classic commentator's curse. There's 2. And 3. And the guaranteed lightning.
Yep, and this, I believe this is going to be the guaranteed kill.
Yep,
Yes.
so 3. Much fewer than we expected. Chloe going to head up and get the big key that was loitering around Zora.
Yep, that big key has probably been in Chloe's mind for quite a while. So typically what Aga will do in the vanilla game is it will open up the Lumberjack ledge as well as give you another portal to the Dark World. In this case, with the entrance randomizer, Aga, where the Lumberjacks is actually the way... Ooh, there's a flute. Is the Lumberjack ledge. Yeah, Lumberjack ledge is actually well. And there's our Turtle Rock big key.
And our Misery Mire big key that Hitsuyan already had. So I think we're going to see him run directly to that tree.
Yeah, tree, check the 5 items, and then might activate flute first. We'll see. We'll see if he goes down or to the right. Nope, flute first.
Guys, priorities. Now, even with this doesn't actually give us access to the Mire area, because we still haven't found Titan's Mitts.
No, it does not. So, gives us some better movement, but that's about it. So yeah, main things we're looking for now are mitts and ice rod.
Although, do we even need Titan's Mitts?
Possibly, no. There's a small key to Misery Mire.
Well, there's Titan's Mitts.
Potentially no, but that is access to the mire area, which has a lot of entrances. And I'm looking at the maps and how tracking. I think that's actually required to check those entrances, where it looks like probably both Ice Palace and Misery Mire are hiding.
Yeah, and I don't think we exactly have options for connectors anymore. So, yeah, I think you're right. I think we were gonna have to fly there.
Yeah, unless it's one of the dark areas that Hitsuyan might not have checked after getting the lamp, that might lead there. But yeah, other than that, I think this is it. So now it is, for Hitsuyan, it's really a hunt for Ice Rod and maybe the small chance of Quake if Misery Mire's entrance is hiding either Ice Palace or Mire itself.
Ah, yes, and Hitsuyan does need the pod big key, although we have seen that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll check next time he pulls up his inventory. I don't know if Hitsuyan actually has found the pod big. No, he has not. So Hitsuyan also needs to find the pod big key.
Well, we do know that he won't find it here, but instead he finds a hiding thief, who was hidden very well until Hitsuyan blew up his door. Thank you very much.
There's the small key to Castle Tower. So yeah, I feel like Ega 1 was definitely required in this scene, unless we find some kind of connector. Which, actually, now that I think about it, there is still one connector we were missing that we have access to now. Laser Bridge.
That is true. I don't think we've seen anyone go that deep. Mainly because they couldn't. Until now.
Yeah, we didn't have the big key, and none of the entrances actually just led you right to Laser Bridge. So maybe this leads to it.
I will also.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I was gonna say we now, since Chloe is able to clear out Pod, barring another key, that will get us to the pyramid as well, to that fairy location.
Yeah,
so there's yet another.
Yeah, once we find that one more small key, there's a map. Piece of heart. What else you got, Turtle Rock? Half magic. That's kind of nice to find. Get all your magic back. And Quake. So, and here's the entrance here. Gonna see a mirror.
And there's Mire. Oh my.
Well, Hitsuyan's gonna be clearing this out.
This is quite the mean Mire. You could say this is a bit of misery.
I see what you did there. Yep, chat pointing out Laser Bridge always hiding something. Yeah, in this case, not really an item. It's just, hey, here's your way to Mire, by the way.
Yeah, and to make it just that little bit worse, that is one of the the connectors, or one of the locations rather, that you need the mirror to access, and you normally don't think about needing the mirror to access. It's not like K45. So it is very possible to get to that ledge and then just back right out, forgetting that there's a light world equivalent.
Chloe found a pod small key.
Ooh. Those are nice to have.
Yeah, and our tracker pointing out, we did point out that that ledge can actually be very evil. Well, the seed just showed that we were telling the truth.
Yep, and like we said earlier, we promise we didn't script this.
So yeah, really the only item we are looking for now at this point is Ice Rod, and then we need to find out where Ice Palace is hiding. Which I guess Mitz did give us access to one more location without the flute.
Oh, there's a Thieves' Town big key.
There's more locations for Ice Rod.
The Ice Palace big key, making it logical.
Just have all the big key. Actually, nope, never mind. Hitsun's still missing pod big key. Chloe not appreciating Agabat, and Chloe is going back in the pod. It's gonna clear this out. And I just thought about if the Ice Rod is in Thieves' Town, the sequence of events you had to do to get the Ice Rod.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is a seed. This is absolutely a seed.
Welcome to Crossworld Keysanity, everybody.
Yeah, I have enough of a hard time doing Crossworld or Keysanity. So big respect to our runners, both on and off the restream, just for being willing to do this. Did Vitrius just deflect Hitsun's arrow?
Yes.
Good shot, Vitrius.
Yes. Vitrius's lightning will deflect arrows. So Hitsun takes down Vitrius. He is 3 crystals away from being able to go after Ganon. And Chloe's actually about to be 3 crystals himself. Still missing the Ice Rod, though.
And we are going to see Hitsun probably hit a bunch of locations that Chloe already hit.
Or just go right to Meyer.
Or just go right to Meyer. If Meyer doesn't work out, then we're going to see a few overlaps.
I'm almost... If Mire doesn't work out, and Desert doesn't work out, I believe at that point there are two possible locations for Ice Palace, and that is behind the Big Bomb at Pyramid Fairy location, or Hammer Pegs.
Oh, right, we haven't seen Hammer Pegs. Because we didn't have the Titan's Mitts.
Yes. And if that is the case, that definitely means AGA 1 was required. But now, if Ice Palace isn't here at Hammer Pegs and it's behind the Big Bomb, that means AGA 1 actually was not required. Because I don't believe Flute was behind AGA 1.
No, Flute was not.
Oh,
And
hey,
a
potion shop.
Well, that's certainly convenient.
Time to get rid of all your bees.
Witches will be making up a new recipe, sweetened with all natural honey.
Some of it from the Golden Bee.
Ooh, that is a connector cave.
That is a connector, but maybe he is paying attention to the fact that, depending on his locations, that he really can't connect anywhere he needs to go at this point. So we've got 4 more locations we can check. Actually, no, we already checked Mire, so 3. Yep,
Yeah,
there was the connector.
So let's see what the bottom Mire. There's Ice Palace.
So, yes. AGA 1 was required.
And this means Hitsuyon just needs to find the pod big key and 1 more small key. And the ice rod. So, Hitsuyon's done for locations.
Yep, he needs items. Billy Mills, yes. Turtle Rock entrance is still mitts locked. You still have to get to it the normal way. Doesn't necessarily mean you need mitts to get into Turtle Rock. And Chloe is making that same decision. Time to go to AGA.
Just gonna go with the fire rod. Strats. Hitting Aga Tower at this point, you got more than enough weaponry to do the job.
Yeah, I'm probably deciding on the fire rod due to the low amount of arrows. Only at 8 arrows right now.
Yeah, that is true.
No, Turtle Rock's entrance was typically where you would go to farm money. The desert under the rock, and if I'm not mistaken.
I have the front of Turtle Rock was the Dark Witch's house. The Laser Eyes was at Blacksmith. The big chest was at Hookshot Cave, and Laser Bridge dumped you out onto Bumper Ledge. Very rudely.
Yeah, and then you have to mirror to get to Mire.
But that is a great demonstration of Crossworld, because that's 3 in the Dark World and 1 in the Light World.
Yeah, technically all those entrances are connected because you could leave. If you have the keys and everything to make it out of Turtle Rock, you will appear at their supposed entrances. Wherever the game has them at that point. We have a mirror shield on Hitsuyu's side. Martin, yes. Turtle Rock entrance was hiding the thief. Still no. There's another small. There's the small key Hitsuyan needs for pot at this point. So now, just Ice Rod and a big key.
Yep, that ice rod could very well be in here.
Now the fun question though, where do you think Ice Rod actually is?
Well, there is still an item in the pyramid, right?
Yeah, we do have the 5-6 crystals.
And the Ganon dropdown is the thieves' hideout. And we don't need all the crystals to fight Aga 2. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's possible. That's possible. It could be in Ganon's Tower itself. Thieves Town. Could be on Sahasrahla.
Oh, yeah.
We are kind of running out of locations, though.
Yeah, at this point, wherever it is, it's trolly.
I mean, it's the Ice Rod. That's his job. Alright, down goes. Cold Stare, just a heart container, so Ice Rod is not in Ice Palace. Alright, so let's do this, chat. Since we're not going to need to play the Ganon's Tower Big Key game, we don't have a command or any fun stuff like that, how about we play Guess Where the Ice Rod Is? And if you've been paying attention to the locations left, go ahead and guess.
Honestly, even if you haven't been paying attention, go ahead and guess.
Yeah, you might as well. So the major locations I can think of that we haven't been to is Big Chest in Ganon's Tower, the top of Ganon's Tower, the back of Thieves Town. I'm trying to think what other areas we haven't actually been to. I think that's
the blacksmith chain.
Yeah, blacksmith chain. If there's an item in Hammerpay Cave, Pyramid Ferry. No, Hookshot Cave has been checked.
Yep, both the overworld location and the actual cave itself.
Or did Chloe do? Well, no, we saw Pyramid Ferry itself, but we haven't actually seen what's behind.
Yeah, we've seen the cave, but not the overworld.
I forgot about Skullwood's Big Chest, but we just found out that's not there. And when I'm saying Hammerpay Cave, that doesn't necessarily mean there's an item there. That's just a location we have not been to. It could very well be nothing. Actually, I'm trying to think. No, Hitsuyan checked the front of Turtle Rock, correct? I think both of them did.
Hitsuyan definitely did. Because he made the move as soon as he was able to.
Yeah, it's not Ped though, everybody. We have a pet check.
Just a shop at the hammer pegs.
Yep, it's not there. And it looks like Checkerboard Cave was library, and it was not there. I was wondering, it's like, I hope you're not taking it to the blacksmith shop, Hitzian, because that's not where blacksmiths are. Yes, all dungeons have been found at this point. Fire Shield shop house has been checked.
I believe the blacksmith house will always be in Light World, but it could be anywhere in the overworld. Whereas the old man cave is always on Death Mountain, but maybe not on the left side if I remember right.
Yeah, I believe so. No, all of Turtle Rock was checked. They did it fairly early on into the seed. They Hitsuyan just found the big key for Thieves Town not too long ago.
Yeah, so I can definitely respect this play. It is a little slow, but in all the madness of Entrance Randomizer, you actually know where the specialist is.
Yeah, one of those locations you know.
Just a piece of heart.
So yeah, Chloe's missing some of those critical big keys right now. Still needs the Meyer big key. That's the main, and it's very possible also missing the Thieves Town big key.
Yep, that could end up being a big deal as well. Thieves Town was actually in the cave that Hitsuyan is getting bodied around, I believe. Oh no, it's on the other side, rather. So it's the one that is locked by Titan's mitts unless you drop down from the top.
Where was Pod Big Key?
I honestly do not remember. I've been too busy.
Yeah, we found so many.
Location.
We found so many items and trying to keep track of locations. It's like somewhere in Hyrule.
Thing is, back when they had the Keysanity tournament some time ago, I actually had a very nice spreadsheet of all the keys, all the items, and keeping track of that very simply. And I've since lost it and never bothered to recreate it.
Hitsuyan's actually never even been inside Thieves Town. So this is just complete items for him. Going to be 8 items. I almost want to say the Pod Big Key was here in Thieves Town, since Hitsuyan hasn't checked it. Pretty sure he's almost checked everything that Chloe has.
might be right. Yep.
Yep, there it is. So that is the last big key that Hitsuyan needed. He is looking for Ice Rod and nothing else.
And the big keys that Chloe is looking for, those were in Turtle Rock, right?
Yeah, I think that was Laser Bridge. So Chloe's getting the Hookshot cave checked with Bombo. Tempered Sword. I believe there's one other major item. Yeah, we got the blue boomerang. That's major.
Major enough. Oh no, the biggies were in Meyer, my mistake.
Okay, well... Oh no, he's... Yeah, okay, yeah, they must have... Yeah, it could have been mine.
Yeah. I was thinking there were 2 big keys in one of the dungeons, and I assumed it was the Meyer and the Ice in T-Rock, but...
Small key to Hyrule Castle. Yeah, I mean, at this point on this, see, Laser Bridge and Mizumai are the same thing, so... So actually, both runners, at this point, really just looking for the Ice Rod now.
Yeah, Chloe just has to go through Laser Bridge and come out, hop into Meyer, and that's it on that front. Oh, I just had a thought. Because this is Keysanity, nobody checked the lava chest in T-Rock.
That's right, I'm pretty sure they checked there. They steal the key. I think they checked that early. When they first dipped into Turtle Rock, when Hitsuyan only had like a cane of burn and Chloe only had fighter sword.
Okay, I thought they had just stolen the key and gotten out of there, because that's a pretty common strategy with that. You know, saves you from having to find more T-Rock keys.
Yeah, I know, I guess because it's entrance randomizer, you really don't have to worry so much about Turtle Rock keys, because depending on Laser Bridge location, you only need a key in the big key to actually clear Turtle Rock. Or at least to get to Trinex. Those fireballs are not liking Hitsuyan, but he takes blind down.
Gets a compass.
So Thieves Town is not, well maybe, we still need to check one thing, the pendant. Alright, Chad, if you said Thieves Town or blind, I apologize, that was not the correct answer.
If it is a hospital, though, we'll give you half credit.
Yeah, we'll give you half credit. And I'm sure that's probably where Hitsuyan's going to be going next, I would imagine.
Yep, gonna use this portal. Honestly, not the most convenient one to get where he's going, in my opinion, but so hospital is in kind of a messy location this time.
Chloe getting dead rocked.
Hitsuyan's going back to the back of Hyrule Castle. Oh, taking care of Pod, right.
Yep. Can clear out pod. Which, I mean, makes the most sense because you're going to get a location. And you have to kill Helmersaur, so you might as well do this.
Yeah, we just already know, thanks to Chloe, that the ice rod ain't here.
This looks like
Oh,
Chloe is going to be checking the front.
Looks like.
Truck first.
Guess she hasn't done this. So yeah, I think we only saw Hitzion do the compass chest in the roller room. This is actually a reasonable move. This gets you these locations, and you can just mirror back to where you were, and then go down towards Laser Bridge.
Yeah, nice and easy. But yeah, I mean, almost in all dungeons, I don't think they're going to need to clear Aga 2. Aga 2. They might have to still. Technically, that is an item location.
Yeah. Very rude, jellyfish.
He must have left a chest behind at some point.
I suppose so. Does still have one key to work with. Probably the Harmless Hellway.
I thought he picked up Harmless Hellway because he did the... He came in here with 4 keys originally.
Oh, never hit the big chest.
Oh yes, the big chest. Okay, that makes sense now. Sadly, we know it's not here. Just one of those wonderful Ice Palace keys. Probably thinking, where else do I have to go? And honestly, there's only one more location I can think of.
Is that Ganon's tower?
It's Ganon's tower. Or behind Ganon's tower.
Is he gonna blind pull Ped?
Yeah, I guess he actually, he hasn't checked it. Chloe was the one that checked this. And actually, he hasn't went to Sahasrali yet, has he?
He has not turned in the green pendant, no.
Okay, so we got a couple locations. We know it's not here. He's about to get his butter sword. No, it's not a pet seed interrupting owl, but there's a major item.
Chloe throws a bomb out the door. Not necessary, but a vent of frustration.
Actually, that's a thing too. Hera basement.
Oh! I'm kind of worried if we forgot about it, the runners might have completely forgotten about it too.
I guess the question is, do you check Hera basement before you go up Ganon's tower? Tower room in GT has been checked.
Sahasrara with the $20.
So these town, not required whatsoever. Not the back, at least. Front of it, yes. We needed that big key. Or we still got to turn the green pennant in, so maybe. Jury's still out.
No, that's what Hisyon just did.
Oh yeah, that's right. Never mind. Ha. What am I thinking?
I'm thinking it's time for the big bomb. Now, we don't even know if the Pyramid Fairy location has an item, let alone, the ice rod. It could just be an empty house.
Hitsu also did not check the upper part of Ganon's tower. There are the 4 chests up at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Pyramid Fairy. No, that is not an item location. Green food needs Archer badly. Crossworld basically means you're going to see it a little bit when Chloe finishes Mire, but entrances between both light and dark world are mixed around. So you can enter somewhere in the light world, end up in a dark world location. You can enter a light world cave that connects to outside or has an exit and end up in the dark world at that point. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. It ends up resulting in a lot more creative routes, especially through the dark world early on.
Especially if you don't find an early moon pearl like our runners did.
Yeah, if anything can be said about this seed, at least we had that early.
Maybe that was the seed trying to tell them. It's like, so we're going to have a quick talk. I'm going to give you an early pearl, but I'm going to make you do some pretty crazy stuff, just so you're aware. Was Hera basement the answer?
No! Folks, we gotta climb Ganon's tower.
Yeah, unless there's somewhere else I'm missing. Crazy, he went to Sahasrara, so that's been checked. Give him $20 on a pat on the head. I mean, I guess it might as well be 100% seed at this point, because I don't really think, other than like skipping items, the runners have really missed anything. Yep, and he is making the decision. It's time to climb the tower.
I think it's pretty safe to say our runners are going to be over 200 items. on this run.
Yeah. Depending on, yeah, I mean, even I don't even think it matters where Ice Rod is at this point. 'Cause I think what Hitsuyan was doing, going to Hera first, not only is it quicker than, going up Ganon's Tower, but I think checking it to where Ganon's Tower is basically your last location. So you are finding an Ice Rod at this point. But Chloe picks up Misery Mire's crystal. It's crystal number 5. Still needs the one out of Ice Palace. And then needs that Ice Rod.
See, so Hasrullah grumping that he had to do all this stuff with no boots, that's where you know he's lying, because he gives you the boots.
But what if, what if there's that, kind of like the Spider-Verse where there's all these different kinds of Link to the Past universes, and every single seed is a different universe. So this seed, our Sahasrullah, definitely did not have boots.
I like the way you think. That might be the one thing about this run that makes the most sense.
Chloe going through Thieves Town. We know we're not going to find anything of importance here, but don't really blame him for doing this. Oh, just barely short the magic.
But you can reach with that lamp, just barely.
Piece of heart. Hey, and a refill. A compass? You don't even need to powder them. You've got full hearts.
A blue
5.
rupee.
Oh my goodness. Is it Trolldorm's treasure? Does Trolldorm 2 still get the last laugh?
I've come to calling this the ultimate chest because it is the final one, but will it actually be
Oh
the ultimate chest?
Oh my god. The Ice Rod.
So at 2 hours and 54 minutes, Hitsuyan hits go mode. With Trolldorm 2 holding the final item. And yeah, this is an all crystals, not a kill Ganon, so we didn't need to go bother with Agate 2. Doing that would be solely a matter of spite.
Yes. The sad part is, or I guess not sad, but funny how we were talking about...
We weren't talking about that.
No, we weren't talking about that.
I believe that's Hitsuyan leaving his notifications on.
Yeah, that might have been. It's Like, I appreciate some Naruto every now and then, but I was like, this is Link to the Past, not Naruto. But how we were talking about Trolldorm 1, and you usually don't see Trolldorm 2. He doesn't get to laugh at you or have any fun with you in Entrance Randomizer when it's crystals. Well,
Yep.
apparently the seed had other things to say about this.
Man, that Naruto sound is just like, the seed is so rude, it's crossed multiple intellectual properties.
She's like, so you had to do some shadow clones and ninja stuff to do what you needed to, just so you know.
So, Chad asking how this mode stops Aga 2. In a normal defeat Ganon, you can't battle Ganon until you defeat Aga 2, regardless of if it's Entrance Randomizer or not. All crystals just removes that restriction.
And Durand, yes, this is a mode that it is not for the faint of heart. This mode can do so many evil things to you.
That wasn't the mode.
I mean, maybe it's not the mode, but maybe that's what the mode is doing to you. Like, we're just gonna roll all over you. And we're gonna drop in again. Which I guess kind of is funny because it's the Bat Cave and he turns into a bat when you beat Egg. Some dash strats for a little.
You know what has me a little worried now that I'm watching Chloe take that big bomb? She has been down to the Mire area. I don't know that she went into the actual cave where Ice Palace is. Might still be looking for that.
Maybe so. Maybe forgot about the cave.
It is one of those easy to forget locations.
Yeah, you like never see it in a normal game of random. I mean, even vanilla, you don't see that cave. Yes, Ganon, we found silver arrows in your tower along with everything else the game has.
We'll be switching audio as soon as Hitsuyan finishes up this fight. Which is looking to be rather quick.
Alright, but everybody get your GGs in chat for Hitsuyan after this wonderful seed they decided to do. Who finishes it in sub 3 hours.
Yep, and so our official rankings here. Hitsuyan's official time, 2 hours, 59 minutes, and 2 seconds, puts him in 9th place overall. Our first place finish is Pink Kitty Rose, with a time of 2 hours, 15 minutes, and 41 seconds. Korek followed in 2nd place with 2:21.04. Keong 92 with a 2:34.17, coming in 3rd. Haikyuu Type will be 4th place with a 2:36.24. Bonta, a 2:37.40. Chex Human with a 2:41.18. Plasma Kappa was in 7th place, 2:58.06. And Jay Coper just ahead of Hitsuyan, 2:58.47.
I believe we are also joined by Hitsuyan.
Yeah, hey guys, GG's.
GG's. So, how did you feel about that seed?
Not so good.
Yeah, I was going to say, reminder that we try not to use expletives on the Speed Gaming channels. As much as we might want to right now.
One time you don't climb the tower and there's the item.
Well, I think we didn't find the big key until a decent amount of time after that first sweep through the basement. Those big keys were certainly not playing nice, particularly towards the end.
Yeah, I feel not so good after clearing swamp, and the next check I do is the swamp big key. That's, by the way, the only location I have left in this game. And the other thing I have left is Saga 2, I think. There's one item.
Yeah. Yeah, and we'll never know what it is. Although we actually do know that it's junk, because we've gotten literally everything else.
Yeah, our tracker very early in the seed, since it was so slow and we weren't really finding any major items, was like, I want to click the buttons. Well, I guess, the tracker got to click all the buttons.
Yeah, so you were, Hitsuya, you were hitting up plenty of dark rooms early on, and obviously with the hammer that paid off. Did you have any kind of suspicion on where the lamp could possibly be? It ended up being a rude spot.
Yeah, it was in swamp. You have to dip that and then you can pick up the hammer in logic. That's rough.
Yeah, there's a smart bit of sequence breaking on that.
Yeah, and I died unfortunately in Eastern at the sequence break early, but it was only bombs. That was okay.
Yeah, that was complicated a little bit by the fact that you didn't have a sword for approximately 100 minutes.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure if that was good picking up the hammer. I got the mirror very late in the game and full cleared the whole Dark World without the mirror, and after that checking Zora, getting the mirror and doing everything again.
Yeah, I honestly kind of thought you would end up doing a very early Zora check since you were doing the Houlihan and all that early farming.
Yeah, but then I got the Moon Pearl, had the gloves,
Yeah.
sequence broken hammer, and found the connector to the Dark World, and then I cleared everything and found the flippers are for the locations in the Dark World, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it sort of led you astray, but still worked out. It did lead to a very impressive Ice Armos, doing that swordless.
Yeah, it was a rough fight, because I failed with the burner, then 3 guys left only with hammer. That's not what I wanted. I think you can kill all 6 with 1 magic bar with the burner.
Yeah, I think you have to time it like pretty precisely, but yeah, I think you can pull that off. Nonetheless, led to a pretty impressive show. And it looks like we had P-Train 24 finish right on Hitsuyan's heels and just over the 3-hour mark at 3 hours and 40 seconds.
Yeah, and the other thing that cost me a lot of time was that I don't had a bottle in pot, because on the right side there was the turtle rock, Vicky, I think, and the flute.
Yep. Yeah, that would have been
that's
another.
good for routing.
That would have been another very helpful sequence break. It's definitely a seed that, like, if you played it by the rules, was incredibly rude. And if you didn't play it by the rules, it was still pretty rude. So I have to say, congrats just for getting through it. I probably would have given up myself.
Yeah, and thanks for picking up not PKR, so I got not destroyed on Restream. GG's, Pink.
So in the end, you were 7 items away from 100%. That is endemic of this seed. I'm looking at the IRC, and a lot of people are over 200. Even Pink Kitty Rose, who came first, put a comment in with 194 items, which is a lot.
Yeah, but that's normal that you have the same collection rate like Pink, but she finished a half hour before you. What happened to Chloe?
Still going through Ice Palace. I suspect, given where Ice Palace was, they just didn't realize the location was there. That's one of those entrance-only locations to think about. And if you don't play a lot of entrance, you can easily forget that it's there.
And then something that kind of hurt Chloe early on, I think Chloe forgot, or maybe, well, probably asked, but the Paradox Cave Connector forgot about it or just mismarked or something of that nature. Because when they was like out of locations, was decided to do fake flipper because like they were looking at their map, just kind of standing there, and then did a fake flipper to Waterfall of Wishing, and found where that led, and it's like, oh well, this isn't going anywhere, and then I think finally realized what happened.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like this seed definitely tested your full knowledge of the game, not just the bits that you encounter in a normal randomizer. Given how much was over, like, the shopping mall on the dark east side of the swamp. Yes, we'll see if Chloe decides to go straight to Ganon's Tower or try some of the other overworld locations.
I don't know if Chloe actually has anywhere else other than Ganon's Tower at this point.
You might be right. I guess there's the big bomb. I don't know if they did that.
Chloe did the big bomb earlier.
Ah.
think Chloe's pretty much tapped out for locations other than Ganon's Tower, so we'll see how Chloe decides to route this.
Yeah, making the correct decision. Just go right on up.
We also did a couple more finishes. We had maximum Barnage finish in 11th at 3 hours 5 minutes 53 seconds, and Alazun in 12th place at 3 hours 7 minutes and 30.
And yeah, while Chloe's taking care of the gauntlet, Hitzion, do you have any additional comments you want to make about the seed?
No, not about the seed. Only thank you guys for commentating, tracking, and restreaming me. And GG to all runners.
Well, it's certainly our pleasure to help folks experience such a such an experience that is Crossworld Keysanity.
That's the only true random mode.
Yep, when we were explaining it to everybody, we're just like, so picture this, and then you basically take sense out of the game. It's just completely random. There's logic built into it, but all the sense you had about Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past is pretty much thrown out the window. Down go one of the land molas. They're not behaving very well for Chloe.
When sniping doesn't work, just use fire.
Fire kills everything.
Okay, I'm heading out, guys. Thanks again, and have a nice day.
Yeah, thank you again for running, and GG.
GG's, bye.
Alright, so got a little bit more on Chloe. A few more rooms, climb the tower, is going to have to take care of Trolldorm 2, and then it's probably going to be right off to get.
Yeah, quick run through Turtle Rock, and then a quick Ganon fight.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Still got Turtle Rock.
Yeah, but as we saw with Hitzion, the eyes are right at the blacksmith, so it's a pretty easy pull.
Yes, it is. And the fun thing to note while Chloe's going to be fighting with Trolldorm is that last heart piece that Hitzion picked up that gave him the full life was actually the last heart piece in the game. We found all 24.
Yep, we are, I guess, just one regular heart container short. Somewhere in that 7 items, there is a heart container.
Which actually I know where it is. It's the Swamp Palace big chest, because Chloe picked it up. And Chloe's
yes.
missing one heart container, or one heart piece.
So what are the other 6 missing items? I guess probably maps and compasses.
Yeah, I think there were a couple maps and compasses left behind. I think that's
And maybe
about
some,
it.
yeah, and some junk items. Because I think we actually have all of the keys. There might be one Misery Mire key missing.
Yes, there is a Misery Mire key missing on Hitsuyan's side. That is the only key that is missing on his side, so that's one of them. So we've got 2 of the 5 items, or 2 of the 7. We're missing 5 of them. But maybe Trinex has the heart piece. Could we see the all 20 hearts?
Yeah, I don't remember when Hitsuyan got to 19. If that was in GT or on Trinex.
It was GT. It was he picked that up and he went from like 2.5 hearts left to full
Yeah,
because of.
that was very good timing.
So we'll see. Just got to take down Trinex. Two necks are down. And so is the third.
No more necks.
Nope, just a compass, darn. Alright, so it's flute to Kakariko Village, drop down, kill Ganon, win the game.
And I did mention earlier that we had a handful of forfeits. We are actually now at 7 forfeits total between just the time of day, people being tired, and people just being frustrated with how messy this seed was.
Yep, and while we wait for Chloe, yep, Chloe's gonna, you know what? Chloe's just like, I know there's a sword there, I'm just gonna go pull it.
Might as well.
But while Chloe pulls the pedestal, we did get a 13th place finish with Walter the Fourth at 3 hours, 13 minutes, and 2 seconds.
I will say this kind of wide range of finishing times is not terribly surprising for entrance randomizer in general, just because of how it messes with your ability to route. You know, a runner can get very lucky with how they sequence things, and another can make what seems like sane plays and just get trapped.
Should be enough to get to phase 3.
That looks like phase 3.
Yep, this is indeed phase 3. 4 sword attacks, 4 silver arrows, and then it's bacon time.
Ooh, just misses the torch glitch.
Might get a triple here, though.
Ooh.
Short. That'll do it, though. So everybody get your GGs in chat for Chloe. And they are going to finish in 13th or 14th. 14th with 3 hours, 21 minutes, and 18 seconds. And looks like we actually have Chloe in the waiting room, so we will go ahead and pull them in. Hey Chloe, GG.
Hello, GG. That took a few minutes.
Yeah, so thoughts on the seed?
Well, if Ice Rod was literally anywhere else, it would have been a lot better. But, of course, I mean, not only that, but there's a couple other weird things, like Hammer being lamp locked in Hyrule Castle, of all things. And, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, doing that sequence break to get Hammer was very beneficial, given where Lamp ended up being.
Yeah, it wanted you to get flippers and swim all the way over to the shopping mall, and I mean both Swamp Palace and what was the other one? Swamp Palace and Skull Woods were both over there too.
Yeah, and you had to go into Swamp with the small key, so
Right.
you needed Map Sword and go up to Hyrule Castle.
Yeah. I mean, and then like I'm figuring the last two because I hadn't found either Ice Palace or Misery Mire for like the entire seed. I figured they were over in the Misery Mire area because Flute and Titansmiths. Titansmiths was locked behind Aga, of course. That was weird seeing Well at the Lumberjack. But then Misery Mire ended up being empty because I forgot about the ferry location over there. And I ended up not finding Ice Palace till late, but that didn't matter because Ice Palace was completely empty.
But still necessary.
Right, I mean, I thought for sure it was at the bomb location because I have a map sitting in front of me and I have checked every location besides Ganon's Tower and Pyramid.
Yeah, it sounds like that was the story for a lot of runners.
I know, a lot of 200 plus checks in this. That's rare for Keysanities.
Yeah, it did mean that we've gone pretty long here tonight, so we are getting nudged over so that the Wind Waker randomizer can run. So any quick last thoughts, Chloe?
Nope, thanks for having me. Sorry it took so long. Next time it will be faster.
Next time it won't be this seed.
Next time it will be faster because it has to be.
All right, and with that, yes, we're going to wrap things up here. Thank you again to Chloe and Hitsuyan for agreeing to be our featured runners this evening, and thank you to everyone else who participated in this run. Whether you finished it or not, this was quite the thing to behold. Thank you again to our tracker, Sindoris, for trying to make sense of all of this. And to Sir Lankalot for helping with commentary.
Yeah, it was great fun. Thanks for co-commentating it with me, and thanks again to Sindoris for tracking for us, and everybody at Speed Gaming for letting us do this wonderful, wonderful seed.
And with that, we'll have the Wind Waker randomizer coming up in just a few moments. Thank you all for watching. Good night.